at lrn.fm. That's lrn.fm.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype, so Skype on in here at Skype username lrn.fm. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
And Mark.
Of course, you can bring up anything you want. Coming up, if we get the chance, we'll give you an update on that young man that was arrested in North Korea. You might remember that was like a year or so ago. He has been released, unfortunately.
In a coma.
Yeah, he's near death. So we'll.
Otto's in a coma. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's pretty sad stuff.
Yeah.
We can get into that, and your calls and thoughts certainly welcome at 855-450-FREE, like freedom, or Skype on in at Skype username lrn.fm. Let's go to the phones, to the fun, where we've got Stefan in Ohio on the line via Skype. Go ahead, Stefan.
Hey guys, how are you tonight?
What's on your mind?
I was thinking about this earlier. I'm actually going to talk about something that's non-political tonight. I was having a discussion with somebody. Why do you think it's socially acceptable to eat like a pig, for example, to most people?
In what circumstance?
Like, for example, like bacon or ham, things like that.
To literally eat a pig. Okay, I thought you meant eat like a pig, like shoveling food into your mouth with your hands.
That's also what I thought he meant. Or eating out of a trough. Eating, what's that stuff? Milk bread?
Yeah, that's waste food that we used to feed our pigs.
And every pig gets a donut?
Every pig gets a donut every day at Ed.
Okay, so by
house.
Eat like a pig, you meant eat a pig.
Yeah, like eating a pig, yeah.
Okay.
Why do some people think it's acceptable to eat pigs?
But not some other animals, like dogs or cats, for example.
Good question. Mark, you're a farmer. You did some pig raising and slaughtering. What do you think?
Well, I think that, it's just social norms, really, is what it comes down to, is pigs are a great example because they're a very intelligent animal. They're as smart as dogs. So if you're going to claim
Some would say smarter.
If they are, I wouldn't tell you as a pig farmer that that's true. I'm certain some pigs are smarter than some dogs.
Okay, there you go.
But
there's a bell curve, yes.
Yep, there's going to be a bell curve, and that pigs and dogs are probably pretty close. Now, I would say the difference is that dogs have had 50,000 years of evolution and selection towards pleasing us. Pigs have not had that same amount of time. So you'll find pigs, the bell curve is much flatter on pigs wanting to please you as it is for dogs. There are still some bad dogs out there, but pigs,
and pigs aren't narcs.
What do you mean?
Well, dogs will start taking jobs with the cops and narc people out. Pigs don't do that.
Well, I would tell you that a pig's going to do what a pig's told to do. If it's like if the police start looking for truffles, they will probably use some pigs at some point.
They don't use pigs anymore.
They mostly use dogs. They're a better choice for truffle finding. There's a lot of hot-nosed hounds out there, and they don't care anything about the taste of truffles. You get a hot-nosed pig looking for truffles, and they're going to eat them. And that's the problem. And a pig will get to 800 pounds. So if you're trying to pull a pig off of truffles, you're going to need an axe handle, and it may not work.
But let's go back to the original question. And there are some cultures to where it's perfectly acceptable to eat dog or cat or large rats.
But the progressives are using, Move On and whatever, different sources out there that they can get petitions on to try to shame these cultures that eat dogs and that sort of thing. I believe that Haitians are known for eating wild cat too. So anything out there is, there's some dogs and
then
some
if
cats.
you go to India and you expect to be able to get a hamburger, nope, you got to go to another country because you can't get a hamburger here.
I'm pretty sure it's insulting to ask for a hamburger in India, would be my guess. So there's
depending on the part of the country, yeah, because in the Hindu parts, cows are sacred.
Yeah.
Cows are friends. They're family in a lot of cases.
Yeah, the only answer I have for you, Stefan, is that it just comes down to social norms. People, would love to show pictures of puppies hanging out with piglets and saying, "Why would you eat one and love the other?" Well, the fact is that
I'd eat your little husky dog if you were gonna, cook him up. I'm not gonna come over to your house and kill your dog because that would just not be a nice thing to do to somebody.
But if you're going to kill your dog and serve it to somebody.
But if if your dog was, living a normal life and, it got run over by a car and, most of the meat's still good, yeah, go ahead and eat it.
I think that we equate, and humans, I think, generally do this, but certainly in this culture, we equate death and pain. So if an animal is dispatched in a humane fashion, we all have the same end. We're all going to die.
Right.
What you wouldn't ask for is a long, painful death, which is what's likely to happen as you grow old and die. Nature certainly doesn't provide you with a long, painful death. It's usually relatively short, but it's not going to be as short as a farmer is going to provide.
I don't think that all of the, which animals are acceptable to eat is based on culture, because there are, people within like a 50-mile radius of where we live that might be like, I would never eat a squirrel, and then other people go out squirrel hunting.
So it might also be the emotional attachment a lot of people have with their pets, for example, that would prevent that. Like, I'm sure Oliver Douglas wouldn't want you killing Arnold and eating him either, but, the little pig from Green Acres. Okay. So I guess one of the bigger parts of it would probably be like, hey, I have a cat. I wouldn't want somebody to eat Snowflake, so why would I go into the wild and eat somebody else's cat?
Well, it's not somebody else's cat, and that's really what it comes down to, is sort of the love. I'm not killing any more of my pigs. I just don't want to have to kill my friends. There's been a couple of incidences at my house where what happens is that I love the animal, and then I can't do the deed at the very end as efficiently as I would like to do it, and there's a bit more suffering that I would like to see, and that's what I was trying to eliminate in the first place. So I'm not killing any more of my animals, but if you need a pig done, I can help. I certainly know how to do it. So that's kind of the difference is it all comes down to who you love and that sort of thing. When you start transferring those feelings onto other, animals, I love my dog and I don't want to get the deer. Well, if you don't want to eat the deer, the fact is that those giant forest rats are going to overpopulate, and they're going to eat up all the crops that you vegetarians want.
Yeah, and then there are some states to where they don't let you shoot more than one of those giant forest rats in a season. Other states are like, yeah, you can take one a day for the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it works here since I've never gone hunting in my entire life.
You have to get up really early in the morning to go hunting, and so I salute all the hunters out there and say, the best to you. Excuse me.
Yeah, thanks for the perspective, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for the call tonight, Stefan. Appreciate that. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733.
If I have a pork chop, as a matter of fact, I can eat on a pig for probably a year. One person could eat on a pig for a year. So you can say meat is murder, but we have a huge garden at our place, too. My wife has to kill all kinds of slugs and beetles and all those sorts of things. It may very well be that meat is murder, but a salad is a genocide.
Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves here. Whatever you want to talk about goes. It's Free Talk Live.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those 2 tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial on in toll free. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype. You can Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. And again, toll-free number 855-450-FREE. Healthcare is pretty messed up in the United States. There is something you can do about it. You can, take responsibility for your own health care. And rather than relying on insurance, you do still have a different option. And in this case, it's healthcare sharing from healthexcellenceselect.com. It's a free market healthcare company, and they give you freedom from health insurance. They'll give you a proactive health assessment daily if you'd like. No charge, 24-hour access to doctors, including traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You can check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. And you can get a medical information card from Health Excellence Select that you can give to EMS, first responders, the emergency room, or whatever medical professional you want. You'll love the service and the price. Head over to healthexcellenceselect.com. So coming up, this congressperson has been shot today, apparently along with some other associates at some kind of baseball game or softball game. Darryl's got that story. We'll talk about that. But we were talking about cute animals a moment ago with Stephan in Ohio. And, the question is, why are some people okay with, eating a pig, but other people aren't? And is it cultural? Is it just an individual kind of decision? It's both, obviously. You've got places like southern China, where I watched a very interesting Vice, one of their short documentaries. This one is called Dog Days of Yulin. And in this particular area of southern China, they had a tradition of dining on dogs. And
it's supposed to be very good.
People from other parts of the country even joke that Southerners will eat anything with legs but the dinner table. But despite becoming more prosperous in the 1990s, Yulin has maintained the unique tradition of holding a canine banquet every summer.
Well, let's not forget that delicacies are basically what poor people eat in a given geographic area, right? That's essentially what it comes down to. French have escargot, and it's very good, right? Like, you put enough garlic and butter on something, and I don't care what it is, it's going to be good.
Snails, right?
Right,
escargot?
It's snails.
Yes.
There's all kinds of things out there that are not so great.
Fish eggs.
Yep. Yeah, fish eggs, right? Like, that's a
rich people pay a lot of money for fish eggs.
Yeah, well, they are good.
Never had them.
I can assure you.
Wait, really?
I have never eaten fish eggs. Never.
Huh.
Not once ever in life.
I think sometimes they put it on sushi, so I'm pretty sure I've eaten it there.
Yep.
I don't eat sushi because sushi's got all kinds of weird things that I don't like in it.
Like what?
The weird green stuff.
Wasabi?
I don't know what it is.
Green stuff.
Wasabi?
There's that, and then the seaweed, the other weird
You
things.
don't know what seaweed is?
He knows what it is.
Yeah. He's just trying to be Darryl about food, and it's, hey,
I'm really picky about my food.
I got a little hint for Darryl and everybody else out there. The refusing to eat a certain type of food is not a substitute for a personality, okay? Like,
Darryl's got plenty of personality.
There's interesting things about you. What you refuse to eat isn't it.
Well, we weren't talking about what Darryl did.
No. I'm just saying, right? Like, I got a whole bunch of things I don't want to eat. Keep that on the down low, okay? That's what 7-year-olds say.
Okay, but hold on. If my eating taste were proper and refined, then I'd be like, I don't eat that stuff from McDonald's. I don't eat things that come from the freezer section, and it would be perfectly acceptable to say, I only eat the finest lobster and caviar for breakfast.
Like
that would be perfectly acceptable.
I would say you sound like a pretentious snot, is what I would say. So that's it. I mean, I just, what people choose to eat is...
But you talk about how you want to eat, pigs that were slaughtered fresh in your backyard as opposed to the pigs at the grocery store.
I want pigs
Isn't that
were
pretentious?
treated well. That I don't think that is. No.
Basically, Mark is saying my eating habits and quirks and oddities are okay, but Darryl's aren't.
Nope. I'll throw that.
That's exactly what you said.
No.
You just use different words, and you don't want to admit that that's what you said because you sound like an a-hole.
No, absolutely not.
He can't help himself, Darryl.
I was born that way.
He sounds like one because he is
I'm part
one.
of a vilified underclass, and I will thank you for leaving us a-holes alone.
Okay, so if you are in southern China, in Yulin, do you eat the dog? Do you go to the dog? I mean, the dog festival is everywhere. Do you eat the dog?
Absolutely. I'd eat a penguin burger if I was allowed to do so.
All right. I would also eat the dog. But it's, obviously it's going to be hard, right? Like, you don't want to see the dog before you eat him because everybody loves dogs, and it's a difficult thing. But
I think that's one thing that, an adult and meat you should, have a relationship to your food. Is my opinion on this. Is you should see it.
Here's the pretentious guy.
You don't want to see the cucumber before it gets turned into a pickle because you might wind up getting connected. Do you know how do you make sure you don't cry when you cut onions? Don't get emotionally attached to the onion.
So it was an interesting video because the Vice host, who it's been like a year or two since I've seen this, but it was really really good. The Vice host sits down and she eats dog, which of course she's never done before.
What kind of dog?
I don't know. Just
they
mutts,
do have
brown
specific dogs, and they will and they get them. And they're rather young. So like a dog, like any other animal out there, is going to be better and more tender if it's younger.
Yeah, I think they grow it though to a full size, and then they.
I don't know if you could say like any other animal because there is a certain type of beef that you've got to let age. Like you have to let the thing mature for a really long time because then it winds up making the meat marbleized.
I'm not 100% sure that you understand what beef aging is. So just to be clear, I could be wrong.
I don't know what it is. Tell me.
So when you age beef, the beef is
That's after
dead.
you slaughter them.
Right,
No. I'm
hanging.
saying that they have to let the cows age before they.
So cows are usually about 18 months. A steer's usually about 18 months when you kill it, or you'll get your hamburger from dairy cows or beefers that have been cycled out.
Fairly certain Kobe cows, they let grow for like 5 years or more.
Having never given a massage to a cow, I'm not a Kobe expert.
The animal rights activists across China and the rest of the globe have increasingly condemned the dog meat festival, calling for an immediate stop to eating man's best friend. They say the dog meat trade is illegal, unregulated, and cruel. Many claim that numerous dogs end up in cooking pots, are stolen pets or diseased strays. Now that may or may not be true, but it was interesting watching the interviews with some of these people that are in the business of raising and slaughtering dogs for food, and they were, the way they explain it. Because obviously a lot of people have dogs as pets. So how can you on one hand have a dog as a pet, but then slaughter dogs for your living? And they basically explain, well, this dog is a pet. These dogs were raised for food. They were raised from day one with the intention of being slaughtered, and they don't have the same emotional attachment to them because of that. It was interesting.
I think to some degree it works similar on some farms to where people will have like a goat as a pet, and then other goats that they milk for slaughter. They'll have cows for certain purposes.
Yeah, that's and while talking about the slaughterhouse industry, they say that some are diseased strays. Well, what evidence do you have that piece of meat that you're getting in styrofoam wrapped in cellophane didn't come from a diseased cow?
Because the FDA put a certification on it.
Yeah, the FDA, having put animals through FDA slaughterhouses, they are really inefficient as far as an organization
everything that
goes.
the FDA has ever recalled, the FDA had previously said was safe for human consumption.
Yeah.
Now, if a beast is diseased and you cook it and eat it, does that do something to you?
In many cases, no, and it depends on the disease and those sorts of things. Most diseases aren't going to be something that you can transfer from,
cook it out, aren't you?
Well, I have seen a chicken one time that just seemed cancerous, had all these lesions on the inside.
You wouldn't want to eat something
it was
that
just
looked
grody,
like that, right?
and we wouldn't even give it to the dog.
Yeah.
But
if it looks okay, it's going to probably taste fine. You're not going to catch the disease after you pan-sear it or burn it, right?
Probably not.
More coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
For P150, P150GA, P150NY, P150OK, P150TN, C250A, C250E, C250Q. Not available in all states. If New York or Colorado, call for a similar offer.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $100, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company, 1-800-972-1059. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away, so you can call today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired. There are no networks, so you can choose any dentist you'd like. Call now for a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-972-1059. That's 1-800-972-1059. 1-800-972-1059. 1-800-972-1059.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-765-9681 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-765-9681. Again, that's 800-765-9681.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio on demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us here on the radio waves. The number's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is lrn.fm. So head on over to freetalklive.com, get interactive there. There's a whole lot of features on our website where you can control the content, including the front page. Actually, you can submit whatever you want from the internet, different links to maybe YouTube videos or news articles, things you think we'll appreciate and that other listeners would appreciate, because other people can vote it up or vote it down, whatever it is that you submit, and you get to vote on things as well. It's a Reddit-based system, and it's totally free, just like the rest of our website, which is freetalklive.com.
I just placed another order for some audio work that I want done at Simbi.com, SIMBI.com. And what Simbi is it's a marketplace that gives you its currency. The Simbi is what they call it. It gives you the currency when you sign up. They give you a certain amount for signing up and a certain amount for filling out all this stuff and those kind of things. And then once you have your Simbi, you can buy, sell, and trade with other people online right there for their talents. You don't need money at Simbi. in order to do business. You wouldn't believe the diversity of services that are over there at Symbi.com. Hundreds of thousands of people are acting within the symbiotic economy. Go to and get an account right now, Symbi.com. Take a look around. Post your services, SIMBI, Symbi.com.
All right, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. So we were talking about the eating of nice-looking animals, right? Like our friends, the dogs, the cats of the world.
Rabbits.
Rabbits, yep.
There are some people, in this country that would just scoff, can't believe you're eating Thumper. Yeah. And other people are like, yeah, bring me Thumper.
It's true.
Hassenpfeffer.
There is a large variety of tastes out there.
There's the really rich people that eat Hassenpfeffer. It's not a bunny rabbit. It's Hassenpfeffer. And then there's the people like Conan that raise rabbits because rabbits are tasty.
They are
and prolific.
As far as animals go, chickens and rabbits, I believe this is what I've read, are the sort of the cheapest as far as time and food.
Is that right?
To turn into meat.
But the right chickens will give you at least an egg a day, and you eat those easy enough. Heck, most people that have chickens that lay eggs, they're always trying to find please take some of my eggs. I have too many.
Yep, like people with squash plants.
So whether you want to comment on this story or coming up, we've got the congressman who's been shot. But since we're talking about animals, let's talk about the 170 Yorkshire Terriers, a story coming from 10news.com.
Right. If we were worried about efficiency in this the food economy in the United States, those 170 Yorkshire Terriers would be Yorkshire burgers right now.
Yeah, you
right?
could send them off to the slaughter.
Right. The animals die all the time. They're euthanized.
Right. They're put to death because there are so many of them. People don't spay and neuter. A lot of people don't spay and neuter, so they end up with litters and litters of cats and dogs, and end up they have more babies after that, and then you've got humane societies that are loaded up with more cats than they know what to do with.
It's not only that, but you also have the breeders that will, intentionally do everything they can to get little Fluffy pregnant, so that little Fluffy has, puppies.
Yeah, but they're getting paid.
Well, they don't necessarily always sell all of the dogs. Right? And then everybody that buys a dog doesn't necessarily keep the dog forever.
Sure.
So, you've got people, I think it'd be a great idea to have a little Fluffy running around the house. And then 6 months later, after Fluffy chews up a couch, you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm tired of this.
And they go to the Humane Society.
Yeah. Or just, all right, you go outside now.
Well, your dog's going to come back. Yeah. You're going to take it good and far if you want to get rid of a dog. Most dogs are homed. Usually it's catastrophes and that sort of thing that have a lot of dogs, out there. One of the exceptions would be
most dogs are homed.
Yeah, they're homed.
Okay.
Yeah. East St. Louis has a large feral dog population. The dogs have just gone wild and they're running the streets.
Mexico had a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about in the United States.
Okay.
That's an issue that we have here. But I mean, in order to have a good dog, right? Like we would agree there's a bell curve for dogs.
Jazzy is a good dog.
Right.
Jazzy is the studio dog, yeah.
Yeah, there are good dogs. There are intelligent dogs. There are loving dogs. There are dogs that behave well indoors. Sure. There are dogs that don't bark too much. And
then there's Conan's dog, or what used to be Conan's dog, that was a yappy little... I can't
like
finish
to jump
the
and yap
and
on ran off.
Broadcast radio, and yes, at one point just ran off.
He never came back.
A sad story there. So, in order to have good dogs,
on your perspective, for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, 12 hours, and 14 minutes.
In order to have a good dog, you must have bad dogs, and frankly, if you want to continue to move the species forward in a certain direction, and that direction would be domestication. If you want to keep the species domesticated and keep it, working well within humans, that bottom 10% of dogs should be culled. They should not breed. And if you're going to cull them, what are you going to do with them? They might as well
feed people with them.
Right. I mean, make cat food with them. I don't care. Yeah. But I mean, things eat meat out there. And now cats, there's basically a pest problem.
There's a lot of damn cats, at least up here.
There's a lot of cats left over. They're poorly domesticated animals. Some of them are great, there's no doubt, but a lot of them, they got real problems. And, that cerebral cortex isn't as big in cats as it is in dogs. What are you going to do with all of these things? Let's not forget that they are an environmental catastrophe. They kill songbirds, by the bagful. They're just, they're
killing machines.
Yeah,
that's what they're for.
There was somebody actually did the math on how many things do cats kill in a year.
Okay,
and they calculated that somehow humans only see about 1/3 of the things that cats kill.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And then
this
they
is outdoor
did the
cats.
math.
We're talking about outdoor cats.
Outdoor cats. And then they did the math based on how many outdoor cats and how many things we see that they kill in a day. And it was just, like this massive number of things that cats have killed in a year.
Yeah, some people have barn cats for the purpose of going after rodents in the barn and that sort of thing. We've got one for that purpose.
Some people call them micers.
Yep, she's a good one. She has no space in her heart for a rodent. She'll kill them off very quickly.
Does she bring it to you?
No, she doesn't. She just chews the head off and leaves it in the
They
yard.
only bring them to you if they think that you're not good at hunting.
I think
they're trying to feed you.
I don't know that. I think that's just people telling us things about our animals, and that we eat it up because it's this stuff on the internet. I think they just don't bring. Some will bring stuff to you, some won't, and I don't really know. Let's also not
maybe
forget,
it's a sacrifice to Maybe they think you're a god because you provide me these things, so I'm offering you a sacrifice.
Could be.
I believe it's a bacteria. I'm not 100% sure, but there's something in cat feces that makes humans crazy.
Crazy cat lady disease is in cat poop.
Right. It makes you make bad decisions surrounding cats.
Is this just if you smell it, or if you get it on you, little bits of it or something?
You've got to scoop this stuff. I would imagine, if
at some point the little bacteria becomes airborne.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
then it does
burrows
something
into
of
your brain.
You need more cats, because it can really only replicate in cats somehow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So cats have human mind control spores in their feces. I mean, these creatures, I don't know. They're amazing things.
Huh. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. Well, I wonder if that's true about Yorkshire Terriers as well, because in San Diego, according to 10news.com, a Poway couple, Poway, who were arrested after more than...
I believe that's a neighborhood in San Diego.
After more than 170 Yorkshire Terrier and Yorkie mixed dogs were found in filthy conditions, of course, in their home and other locations, pleaded guilty today to a pair of felony animal abuse charges. Mark Vadimo and Christine Calvert, aged 72 and 62 respectively, will be placed on 3 years probation when they're sentenced July 11th. As part of their plea agreement, the defendants won't face additional custody but will have to undergo counseling, will not be allowed to own any pets, and will transfer title of a 31-foot motor home to the Humane Society as restitution in the case. Vadimo and Calvert can apply.
So this is interesting. What the Humane Society does is there's a problem. The town calls the Humane Society in. The Humane Society confiscates things of yours to sell, to make money, to make it make sense that they, to sort of
pay
compensate themselves for coming out. Now, one of the problems is I had to deal with a farmer that had this situation.
170 Yorkshire Terriers?
No, that the Humane Society came in, so they said that the pigs were being poorly taken care of. I went and got these pigs, and these pigs look fine. I mean, they didn't have satin pillows to lay on, and they weren't getting daily
What do you think was really going on there? Was there a competitor farmer who had snitched her out or whatever?
I think the Humane Society is just used to puppies and kittens.
855-450-FREE like freedom. You can join us here more on the Terriers in moments. Free Talk Live.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveAtPurse.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, June 14th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.93 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,266 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,750. Antiwar.com reports the Senate has voted on the resolution introduced by Senators Rand Paul and Chris Murphy of Kentucky and Connecticut, respectively, aiming to block portions of President Trump's $110 billion arms sale to Saudi Arabia. The vote was as expected, far closer than previous ones on previous arms deals, failing with just a 47-53 margin. Senator Paul spoke extensively on the need to limit arms sales to Saudi Arabia, citing the humanitarian calamity of the Saudi invasion of neighboring Yemen, warning it has linked Saudi Arabia's tactics to the United States' support in the minds of the Yemenis. Paul cited the very troubled record of Saudi Arabia on human rights and cautioned that the record arms deal with them would serve to fuel hostility towards the United States abroad, citing specific incidents of Saudi warplanes bombing hospitals and funerals. Senators Lindsey Graham and John McCain of South Carolina and Arizona, meanwhile, argued that the arms might conceivably help the humanitarian crisis in Yemen because the U.S. makes smarter weapons that are more accurate. This argument was made in spite of the Saudi government already using U.S. bombs throughout the war. The two also argued that arming Saudi Arabia was an excellent way for the U.S. to move against Iran. It's unlikely that the arguments were seriously impactful on the vote, however. Rather, support for the arms deal is primarily bolstered by lobbying from major U.S. arms makers who stand to make tens of billions of dollars exporting weapons to the Saudis to keep the Yemen war going. But for 5 Senate Democrats who voted against the resolution, it could have easily passed aspects of the sales, and those Democrats almost certainly weren't swayed by Lindsey Graham's say-so. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Apple issued its second green bond on Tuesday to fund the tech company's renewable energy efforts, valued at $1 billion. Last year, the company based in Cupertino, California, sold $1.5 billion worth of bonds in its quest to run 100% of its operations on renewable energy. Apple said the bond sale will also help support its plan for a closed-loop supply chain, products made entirely using recycled materials. The company is investing in several non-fossil fuel projects, solar energy, hydroelectric plants, and biogas facilities in Oregon, North Carolina, Nevada, Arizona, and California. That includes $850 million on a 130-megawatt solar farm near San Francisco over the next 25 years. Apple says its new Cupertino headquarters runs entirely on renewable energy and includes rooftop solar panels supplemented by fuel cells. Apple also has received permission to sell power to the wholesale energy markets. 2 weeks ago, Apple criticized President Donald Trump's decision to pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord, signed by almost 200 countries, aimed at curbing greenhouse gas emissions. The company was among several companies pledging to continue supporting efforts to meet the Paris Agreement. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Get it today at getcell411.com. Reuters reports Otto Warmbier, an American university student held prisoner in North Korea for 17 months and said by his family to be in a coma, has been medically evacuated from the reclusive country after a rare visit there from a high-level U.S. official. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Warmbier, a University of Virginia student from suburban Cincinnati, was on his way back to the United States Tuesday evening. The release came after Joseph Yoon, a State Department special envoy on North Korea, traveled to Pyongyang and demanded his freedom on humanitarian grounds, capping a flurry of secret diplomatic contacts, according to U.S. officials. Warmbier was detained in January 2016 and sentenced to 15 years of hard labor in March last year for trying to steal an item with a propaganda slogan. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Mere days before his upcoming relocation to Denver, Colorado, 4-year Chicago resident Paul Marston admitted today that he wished he had taken a little more time to truly loathe the city he has lived in for nearly half a decade.
You know, I've been here for a couple years, but now that I'm finally leaving, I realize I never really got to hate this place.
Marsden confirmed that in the time he's lived in the city, he never quite managed to explore his own shitty neighborhood, adding that he regrets never getting to know the stuck-up workers at the cafe down the block, never visiting the overpriced bodega on his corner, and never becoming violently ill from the food at the crappy Mexican place across the street from him.
You know, I lived right next to that bar for 4 years, and I just wish I took more time to abhor the disgusting smell that hits you every time you walk by. I'd always heard this place blows. Guess it's a shame I never got to hate it like I should.
For more on this story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial in toll-free here and bring up whatever you want. Coming up, a congressperson and some of his associates were shot today, apparently, at some kind of congressional baseball or softball game. Yes. Darryl has that story. It's Ian, Darryl, and Mark in the studio here as we continue. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, and you can bring up anything you want. We were, just before we went away there for the news, we're talking about a story out of 10news.com, San Diego, where a couple aged 72 and 62, Mark Vadimo and Christine Calvert, have been arrested and pled guilty to felony charges of animal abuse.
I'm surprised it was only 2 felony counts.
Well, I mean, they did have 170 Yorkshire Terriers, but I guess they decided they were going to go easy on them and only charge them twice.
And then after the pregnant dogs gave birth, there were 185 dogs, according to USA Today, that needed homes.
And
the
a certain
Humane
amount of
Society found homes for 168 of them.
Wow.
3 of them were euthanized because of poor health.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have enough dogs,
that's going to happen.
3 of them are going to die.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's only 3 of 170 that had poor health.
Given the way the home looked, there's pictures.
Yeah, there's a picture here, and it's just like, you know, imagine if somebody had a giant Beanie Baby collection from the 90s, but instead of Beanie Babies, all strolled about in one area of a living room.
It's dogs on a dirty
were
mattress.
Yorkshire Terriers.
That's a mattress
on a dirty
on.
mattress.
Yeah.
Yuck.
The terriers are on the mattress. The food is on the mattress. Big bowls. And that's only a fraction of them. I mean, that's probably, a third of them, maybe at
Not
most?
even.
I did not do a head count
Yeah,
of the dogs.
that's one room of dogs. This whole house was full of them.
The strangest part, and definitely, Ian, I want you to continue with the story that you have from News 10. And there's something that's just absolutely strange that USA Today points out that I'm not sure if it's covered in your article.
So what they do with these felony charges is basically they charge you with they charge them with the felony, and then they give them the opportunity to essentially escape any kind of punishment by giving up the animals willingly.
Well, they're still going on probation and they're getting convicted of felonies, so there's a punishment there.
Yeah, I don't know what the probation provisions are, but it's unlikely that it's going to be the same as, I don't know, purse snatching or something.
Probation provisions tend to be fairly standard unless they're more restrictive, as I understand it, and the standard restrictions are pretty restrictive.
Well, didn't you say that they were prohibited from owning any more pets?
That's
true.
That's usually what it comes down to, is essentially you don't get any more animals.
You're right, Mark. Vatimo and Calvert can apply to have the felony convictions reduced to misdemeanors after 18 months of successful probation. So I guess they can have it reduced after the fact.
And this is a pretty egregious circumstance of when I've seen the Humane Society called in. In most circumstances, it's not anything that's this cut and dry. The reason this is a national story is because 180 Yorkshire Terriers.
Deputy District Attorney Kara Reedy said the Humane Society got a report in January from a concerned veterinarian about the condition of dogs that were being kept in an unsanitary dark room filled with feces, urine, and mice at the defendant's home. Now, come on.
And dogs.
How can they
it
have...
was also filled with dogs.
How can they have mice with 170 Yorkshire Terriers around? Are they that bad at killing mice?
Dogs aren't generally the things that kill mice. Cats kill mice.
Terriers are ratters by their nature, but if you
train them to do so,
And maybe they were just playing with the mice.
I'll tell you what, my mother's schnauzer, Sugar Butt, that little animal, she'd just go after any scurrying, furry thing.
And would she kill it?
Well, we never let her. I don't want her getting bit in the face by a rat.
Yeah. Good point.
Or maybe the terriers had realized that they could sort of domesticate the mice and were, growing the mice for food. So they didn't want to kill all of the mice, because if you kill all of the mice, they can't reproduce to make baby mice for you to eat.
Officials from the Humane Society went to the home but were initially denied entrance. A few days later, they were allowed in, and then 94 dogs were removed from the defendant's home between 6 and 8 hours, the prosecutors said. 29 dogs were subsequently taken from a restaurant the couple owned. Oh, my God. And
now I'm curious if they were
I'm just disgusted.
dogs.
You have to wonder. But also, what I'd like to know is, when was the last time the health inspector was actually in there? Because, we're always told that the government's there to keep us safe from these, restaurateurs who are supposedly doing naughty things. But they almost never actually, show up and do anything meaningful. I mean, how
There was somebody did the math in New York City. If the health inspectors were to go to, a certain number of restaurants every day, it would still take them several years before they went to
do the whole
every restaurant.
Yeah. 29 dogs at a restaurant. How does that even? I mean, they're not going to be quiet. So, how were the customers not aware that there were a bunch of yipping Yorkshire Terriers in a nearby room, or being kept somewhere on the premises?
Just tell people there's a pet store on the other side of the building. Oh yeah, there's a pet store over there. How can I never find the entrance to that pet shop?
All of the dogs are 29. Okay, so 29 were in the back of the restaurant. Nearly 50 dogs were seized from the motor home when Ms. Calvert was arrested in February in Prim, Nevada. So apparently they went after her and caught her with 50 more dogs. All of the dogs that were seized from the home had health problems, including ear infections and severe matting. It was not clear why the couple had so many dogs in the residence, because they're crazy.
That's the reason.
And Reedy's.
You mentioned that she was picked up in Nevada. The article from USA Today says that she was fleeing the state of California, which is why she was in her motorhome in Nevada.
I'm curious as to how
dogs.
the jurisdiction worked on this, how they were able to go after her. Because this is one of the real
that's a good question.
problems is, this farmer that I was speaking of that had the problems
Well,
with
fugitive from justice.
the Humane Society. I don't know. I mean, you
She
just
had
call
been
anybody.
arrested in January.
Okay, then that might be the reason.
So
it's part of a provision.
Yeah, bail conditions.
Even without an arrest, she
something.
could have had a warrant out for her.
Right.
Well, so this farmer that I was dealing with that had the pig situation that had the problems with the Humane Society. Well, yeah, she can't have animals any longer in the state of New York. But what about the state of Vermont, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island? I mean, all these
Right.
places are relatively close to each other, and best I can tell, there is simply no no mechanism for them stopping her, from doing this, that, or the other thing.
Quote, it's just that the defendants had some issues, they got in over their heads, and we believe this is a good agreement for all, said the prosecutor. What's most important is these pets were saved and got help, and so will these defendants. We want to make sure that nothing like this ever happens again.
So you, at the beginning of the show, asked the question of, how many Yorkshire Terriers can you fit into a house?
Well, apparently you can fit 50 into a motorhome.
46. It was 46. How big was the motorhome? Because your article doesn't mention that. USA Today does.
No, it doesn't say.
36 feet.
31-foot motorhome.
That's a big motorhome.
It's good size.
Yeah. What's a typical size?
I couldn't tell you. That's a typical size.
Yeah, okay.
31s.
Okay, because I was going to say the box truck that we traveled up here was a 26-foot box truck, so and that was pretty big.
You're not living in it, though.
That's true.
Right, but you've got to figure part of this 31 feet is the driver's area. So, could you imagine that box truck that you moved up in a decade ago packing 46 dogs into the back of?
That would be a
it's like
ridiculous
basically
situation.
you've just got dogs in the back of the truck.
You don't want them to run to one side of the motorhome, I can tell you that.
Toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us on the radio, 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. I mean, can you imagine how malnourished those dogs must have been? The amount of water you would need to have in order to, like if you're traveling around with 46 dogs, I mean, you'd have to have a constant supply of water for them to drink. They'd be peeing all the time because it's enough to take one dog. I mean, Jazzy, the studio beast here, I got to take her out every 4 hours or so. She's an old girl. She needs to go outside. But, I mean, you'd never stop. The pee would just never stop.
You're constantly taking dogs out.
You couldn't do anything. You couldn't possibly do anything. More coming up here, 855-450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live. Ugh.
If you're a sleep apnea sufferer who's on the go, go to your phone. Because if you give us a call right now, you'll be able to try the world's first portable mini CPAP device absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP, an engineering marvel that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. Its unique design is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. No more dragging around a big, bulky CPAP. Even better, now you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights by calling minicpap.com, 1-800-768-3138. Transcend is FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. You can also add a battery pack that's as tiny as a deck of cards. So now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't wait. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-768-3138. That's 1-800-768-3138.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. You know, as part of Hollywood for a long time, I've seen my fair share of celebrities get in trouble with the IRS. Well, there's one name I trust, the Tax Defense Group. They're the most trusted name in tax. So if you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS, you really need to call my friends at the Tax Defense Group. Ignoring the IRS is not the solution. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, seize your home or business. But the Tax Defense Group could put a stop to all of that and tailor a program that would reduce your tax debt to pennies on the dollar. You gotta love that. So don't just take my word for it. Call them. Find out for yourself. They offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. And they're open 24 hours a day because they know that tax debt doesn't sleep either.
Call now for your
your free and confidential tax analysis from the most trusted name in tax. Call 800-361-6907. 800-361-6907.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. We invite you to dial toll-free and join us here. Bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and you can Skype in to join us. Skype username LRN.FM. With you in the studio, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
And Mark.
And also, I do want to let you know about Dash. If you want to help build a better financial system for everyone, join Dash. Dash is digital cash. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, private, and easy. Fees are low, and transactions are fast, and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping the Dash network. The Dash website is dash.org. You can go there. And then there's also another website, Mark, that you've been visiting a lot recently, which is Dash Force News.
Dash Force News, yes. They give you sort of daily stories on Dash. Yesterday's story I know we talked about is the first Dash vending machine in New Hampshire.
Did they cover that over at Dash Force News as well?
Because I
know that story was originally posted to freekeene.com. So
Okay.
it'd be nice to know if Dash Force News picked that one up.
Couldn't tell you. I'm not sitting on. I don't have a computer tonight.
But if you go to dashforcenews.com, you can see they're sponsoring an MMA fighter, Davis Dos Santos. He's going to be fighting at TKO 39, which is interesting. The Dash community is smart because they're spending some of the Dash that's being mined into existence on promoting Dash. Because most cryptocurrencies, when the cryptocurrency gets mined, just goes into the pockets of the miners, and that's the end of that.
Yep.
They do whatever they want with it. But with Dash, I think it's 10% goes into sort of a kitty, and then they vote on different proposals as to what to do with that money. And apparently they're doing things like sponsorships of fighters. Reminds me of the old Dogecoin race car way back in the day.
Was that a Dogecoin? I thought that was a Bitcoin race car.
No, there was Dogecoin, and then the Dogecoin also wound up funding the Jamaican bobsled team for the Olympics that one year as well.
That's funny.
So you can head over to dash.org and find out why there's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now and take control over your financial future today. That's dash.org. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. Coming up, the shooting that happened today at a congressional baseball or softball game of some sort. Darryl's got that story. But first up, it's Tom in Nashua, New Hampshire, listening online. Hello, Tom.
Yeah, it's the annual congressional baseball game, which is still scheduled, as I heard, at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. They play this game every year, a baseball game, the Democrats against the Republicans.
They play the real baseball?
Yeah, they play a baseball game, and some of the Republicans were practicing at a park in Alexandria, Virginia.
Yeah, I wouldn't think when it comes to baseball that the politicians would even have to practice stealing bases.
Well, anyway, now what happened? A guy we know he's not a libertarian because he actually cared whether these congressmen were Democrats or Republicans. Yeah, he asked somebody, one of the congressmen, these the Democrats or the Republicans, and got the answer, and then went out just shooting. And
so who did he shoot? Was it Democrats or Republicans?
He shot and critically wounded a Republican congressman, a staffer, and 2 U.S. Capitol Police. And you may recall on the 3rd of October of 2013, the U.S. Capitol Police brutally murdered Miriam Carey, that woman from Connecticut who made that wrong turn near the White House, and they chased her down. So, it's like, and now they're whining like crybabies because 2 U.S. Capitol Police got shot and wounded. And, that's the only good thing that happened about it is that a couple of cops got shot.
Wait, you don't think it's a good thing that a politician got shot? Why do you give them the pass?
Because all they're doing is babbling and scribbling. One of them makes a motion to amend a motion.
All they're doing is passing the laws and ordering the police to go do the thing.
Yeah, why don't you give them some responsibility for this? I mean, obviously the police are responsible for following bad orders, but shouldn't the people who've been giving
we also don't know if the 2 police that got shot were the same police involved in the shooting that Tom mentioned from October.
And I still don't know what happened to this Merriam person. I'm going to go down on record. Shooting's a bad idea.
You don't remember the story where the woman made a wrong turn and got blasted?
Happened.
She got blasted to death by the police.
I'd like to
for no reason.
To see more.
And no charges were filed against those cops. And by the way,
she made a wrong turn. That's what you get in Washington, D.C.
Members of Congress are entitled to their wrong opinions. The abolitionists went through this. It took them a while to figure out the correct
Yeah, but the law is an opinion backed by a gun, and it's not just your average opinion. So those politicians know that their opinions are backed by guns. They know these men with badges are going to enforce the laws they pass.
Congress also has the purse strings, and so a person who pays for a hitman is as responsible for the hit as the person who does the hit.
Thanks, Tom, for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Toll-free number here is 855-450 free, like freedom, as we continue.
I guess I'm unsurprised that somebody feels threatened by the political process to the point that they feel they need to use violence. I mean, the political process is a threat. Now, as I understand it, this is a Bernie Sanders supporter.
That's what I've heard.
Which I find interesting that you've got a sort of an anti-gun guy supporter.
He's obviously not
using
anti-gun.
guns to shoot the people that support people. I don't know that he is.
How could somebody who's anti-gun go on a shooting rampage?
People that are anti-gun are really only against other people having guns, not themselves.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
now, so I don't know anything really about the story. I saw the headlines. Is he dead? Did the cops kill this dude, or did he get taken into custody?
Gunman died after a shootout with police.
Got it.
Story that I have from New York Times says that a lone gunman was reportedly distraught over President Trump's election and opened fire on Republican members of the congressional baseball team at a practice field in the Washington suburb, using a rifle to shower the field with bullets that struck 4 people, including Steve Scalise, who's the majority whip of the House of Representatives.
I wonder if he was a Republican, he'd have been a better shot.
And, the New York Times here says he showered the field. Well, what exactly does that mean? Does that mean that he fired 5 bullets across the entire field and hit 4 things with 5 bullets?
I don't know.
Or does it mean that he just, randomly opened fire spraying across the field?
You got a man-sized target and a rifle, you should be hitting it.
We also don't know how far away he was. So was he in the outfield bleachers? Was he behind home plate?
Right.
Where was he? How far away?
Well,
was
presumably,
there anything in between?
Getting a rifle unseen to a baseball field has got to be a bit difficult.
I'm thinking he was outside of the field itself somehow, but that's just speculation.
Right. The article continues. President Trump, in a televised statement from the White House, condemned the, quote, very, very brutal assault and said the gunman had died after a shootout with police. Law enforcement authorities identified the shooter as James T. Hodgkinson, 66 years old, from Belleville, Illinois, which is a suburb of St. Louis. 2 members of Mr. Scalise's Capitol Police security detail were wounded as they exchanged fire with the gunman in what lawmakers described as several chaotic, terror-filled minutes that turned the baseball practice into an early morning nightmare.
The toll-free number
morning?
is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We'll find out more coming up. You can share your thoughts on Free Talk Live. Is violence the solution? We say no.
Love or loathe him, Donald J. Trump is our 45th president. There is no denying now that Trump will go down in history, both despised and admired. Commemorate Trump's presidency with your very own Trump silver bust from TrumpSilverStatue.com. This museum-quality heirloom Trump silver statue bust is hand-cast from 20 troy ounces of silver, a great investment. From TrumpSilverStatue.com. Loathed or loved, own a valuable piece of Trump's legacy. Get your solid silver Trump bust today at TrumpSilverStatue.com.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA-packed technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free and join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Darryl,
and Mark.
If you want to get the latest news about Bitcoin, you should go over to news.bitcoin.com. Headline today, this one's a scary one for Mac users. Looks like there's now Mac ransom. You know, the ransomware scourge that's been going around the internet, which has mostly been affecting Windows users. They always said that Macs don't get viruses. Well, apparently sometimes they do.
Oh, yeah.
And now there's a Mac ransomware, which, if it's anything like the rest of the ransomware, will lock up your computer's files with encryption and then demand a Bitcoin payment in return for letting you back into your files, supposedly. So you want to learn more about that?
I imagine they do.
It depends. Sometimes they'll ask you for more. Once you pay up once, they'll say, okay, maybe you'll pay a second time.
Wow.
So anyway, you want to learn more about that, head on over to news.bitcoin.com. And over at bitcoin.com, they've got a lot more than just news. There's also basic information about Bitcoin. So maybe you're brand new to Bitcoin. You want to learn about it? Well, price is down about $400 today, so it's
a buying opportunity.
It might be a good time to buy some, and bitcoin.com can definitely hook you up with how to purchase Bitcoin. They can get you a Bitcoin wallet. There's a whole bunch of them that they will link you over to there at bitcoin.com. And again, that's bitcoin.com. We can talk more about the congressional baseball game. Baseball, not softball, huh?
Baseball, and this was practice, not the actual game.
The game's tomorrow.
Game is tomorrow.
And they haven't put it off. They haven't postponed it.
According to Tom, the caller, they're still going ahead with the game tomorrow.
Interesting. Even though somebody was just shot, multiple people actually shot at this practice, and I presume that was early this morning.
About 8 o'clock is the first report that I saw of anything, so would have happened a little bit before that.
We'll tell you more about that on the way here, but let's go to Sarah in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Darryl, and Mark. Hello, Sarah. Sarah in New Mexico, going once. Sarah in New Mexico.
Red light camera got your tongue? Did you get run over by a car while walking down the sidewalk?
There's probably some sort of technical difficulty.
Yes, it's unlikely it's her.
On the other side. So we'll see what happens there.
She's a vigilant caller.
She is. So our toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. So this morning, 4 people shot, including 2 Capitol Police officers.
Correct.
1 congressperson, a majority whip of the Republican Party. So I guess that means he's somebody, right? That's a big deal.
Right, like he's the person that's basically just below the majority leader. That you go around and you make sure everybody follows the party voting. This is how we're voting today, son.
Yep.
Did they ever have a whip back in the day? Because I know, like in New Hampshire, they let them have swords and stuff. In the
but they still have
house.
A whip, not a sword.
They
don't call the person the house sword. They call them the house whip.
That's what I'm saying. Did they actually have a whip?
That's the sergeant at arms.
Back in the day.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, this dude got shot, and apparently it was a Bernie supporter, allegedly, who did the shooting.
Shooter.
He's dead after a shootout with the Capitol Police. So, was there more that you wanted to share about this story, Darryl?
There's definitely more to this article. I'm not sure, necessarily how much is pertinent per se to further any discussion, but they do say that Mr. Scalise was taken to MedStar Washington Hospital, was listed as critical condition by mid-afternoon, had been struck in the hip, according to a witness. Tim Slater, who's a special agent in charge of the FBI's Washington field office, said investigators were, quote, exploring all angles, end quote, but could not comment on a motive. Asked whether the shooting was an assassination attempt, he said, it's too early in the investigation to say one way or another.
Well, wasn't this dude allegedly asking if there were Republicans or Democrats? Wasn't there something about that?
That's what the caller, Tom, had said.
It doesn't sound like a well-planned assassination attempt.
Yeah, it sounds like an assassination to me. I mean,
But don't
all
you
the things
generally have to know who you're assassinating to some extent?
I don't think so.
Just spraying bullets into a crowd.
Representative Mike Bishop of Michigan said, quote, he was hunting us at this point, end quote. Bishop was standing at home plate when the shooting began, said the gunman seemed to be firing in series of 2 shots at a time, a technique known as double tapping, where you send off bullets that kick up gravel, or rather they said sending bullets that kicked up gravel on the baseball field as they struck the ground. Quote, there was so much gunfire you couldn't get up and run. Pop, 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 pop. It's a sound I'll never forget.
You could get up and run. You might be better off if you got up and ran. I don't know.
Well, depending on, if you see the bullets like leading each other one way or the other, then
what do you do? Yeah.
Which way do you run? Because obviously he's going back and forth in, what they reported earlier as a quote unquote, like showering the field.
But wouldn't you be better off running?
Politicians are certainly glad that open carry is outlawed in Washington, D.C. because it sure would be nice to have an armed person come up and pop this guy right in the back of the head while he was doing this. But by God, no, we have to keep guns out of the hands of madmen. Oh, I mean, we have to keep guns out. We have to keep guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens because madmen don't give a damn about your stinking laws. None of this makes any sense, does it? I'm angry about guns, and I want things done about guns, and I want crazy people not to have them, and I don't make any sense.
I realize we're 5 months into Donald Trump's presidency, but here's how Bernie can still become president.
Just shoot enough of the Congress people.
But then Bernie's not even in the line of secession.
That's true, because he had to give up his Senate seat to run, right?
No.
I presume if
he's still in the Senate.
No kidding.
He's just not in the line of secession.
Not at all? I mean, if you shot everybody between him and the whatever the line of secession is?
So was it like the Rand Paul where you could still run for Senate even if you didn't make it through the primary?
Rand Paul running for president was completely different than Bernie running for president because Bernie was not up for re-election last year.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's why Kentucky, because Kentucky's legislature was majority Republican and they wanted to help their boy, changed the process in Kentucky to where it was no longer a presidential primary, it was a caucus. That way, Rand could still be on the primary ballot for his Senate seat and continue his presidential campaign without having to forego the primary / caucus in Kentucky.
I think it's worth pointing out here, Tom in New Hampshire had called in and was very jubilant about this particular shooting, specifically because police were shot. And we ended up talking with him about, well, why not, blame these politicians for being the ones who create the laws that the police are following, these bad laws like the war on drugs, for instance. And he just kind of dodged it and really didn't have much to say about it. Like, he wants to give them a pass because they're not the ones carrying the guns. But as you pointed out, Mark, if you hire someone to pull off a hit, you're just as guilty as the hitman. You're the person responsible for hiring that person. And so the politician should be held to some level of account for their actions. But I don't think that violence is the solution, even though violence is what they use as a tool. That's how they play their game. They're more than happy to, crush some heads under their jackboots. But, we need to rise above that as far as those of us who believe in changing the system, believe in liberty. Because if you embrace the violent tactics of the state, you've just lowered yourself to their level. and you're never going to have a peaceful society if violence is your means.
Well, I'm unsurprised that somebody felt so threatened that they used violence against the politicians.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised either, and I don't feel sorry for him either.
What I'm surprised at is that it doesn't happen more often. I mean, there's 310 million people in the United States.
Right.
They're all being threatened all the time by the political process,
by
government.
Of them are angry.
And, the people are angry, they're passionate, and I'm surprised this kind of thing doesn't happen more often. I don't think it's effective. I think it'll just cause them to stop playing baseball games against each other. The fact that he had to go find them at a baseball game shows that they're not very exposed.
The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org. Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
Homeowners have much more to worry about than just making their mortgage payment. One of our biggest expenses can be when unexpected repair bills hit us at home. Can you afford to repair or replace your home heating system? What about when your air conditioning stops working this summer, or worse, a major plumbing problem or large appliance that just stops working? Well, with National Home, you can say goodbye to repair bills. That's right, if you own a home, you could stop paying for these costly repairs. Best of all, call now to get your home protected and 1 month of repair coverage for free. Just call 800-887-3022. Simply call our 24/7 repair hotline and pay nothing for covered repairs. Get total protection for your home's major appliances and systems so you have no more costly repair bills. Just call 800-887-3022 and never pay for repairs again. Get your home protected against costly repair bills right now. Call 800-887-3022. That's 800-887-3022. 800-887-3022.
A Japanese-American internment facility was still in operation in the mountains of Northern California. The facility should have been closed in 1945 and its 6,000 residents released, but unfortunately the camp was overlooked until this week. I am happy to announce, however, that the remaining 118 detainees have now been fully exonerated of suspicion of spying for General Tojo, and they have been freed. Next item of business. The President will be meeting with the Australian Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd. Yes, Denise?
Huge oversight. How could this have happened?
Well, Denise, it looks like the camp just somehow slipped through the cracks. The end of the Second World War was a hectic time in America, and it's only natural that we let a couple of things slip in our excitement over defeating the Nazis.
Who's going to be held responsible for this? Congressional investigation?
No, there won't. In fact, the War Relocation Authority was responsible for the decommissioning of the internment facilities, but that organization ceased to exist in 1946, so no.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. You dial toll-free. Bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Free Talk Live AMP program that allows you to get behind Free Talk Live for $5 a month. And then we invest that $5 per month into Free Talk Live to help us get on more radio stations across the United States. We're on over 170 of them right now. We can have more. I mean, there's probably as many as 500 or 600 that we, in theory, could have, because I think Rush Limbaugh's on somewhere around 600. So, 200-300, that'd be pretty nice.
Now, I'm going to ask this sort of, pedantic question. Is Rush on 500 or 600, or has he been added to?
Yeah, good question.
Because those are two completely different things. We've been added to well over 300 stations.
That's true.
But we're not currently on over 300 stations.
That's right, because radio stations change formats, or they go out of business, or whatever. But
I haven't gone through and audited
you can't.
The other hosts.
I don't think they put an affiliate list up.
In many
for Rush.
cases, they don't even put up an affiliate list. They just give you a number.
Yeah.
But I know that Dave Ramsey, who is also an independently syndicated show like we are,
he is, yeah.
claimed to be on 585 in his banner that was at the most recent Talkers event.
Yeah, he's a real performer. There's no doubt about it. Whatever the exact number is, he's on a lot more than we are. So we can be on more. You can help us with that, and that helps get the message of liberty and peace and freedom and cryptocurrency out to new listeners who've never heard those ideas or taken them seriously before. So we can help with that, and you can help us do it for $5 a month. You get perks too, like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, the AMP-only Facebook group. Go and get all the details over at amp.freetalklive.com. Get signed up with Bitcoin, with credit card, or PayPal. That's amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here with your phone calls, we're going to give Sarah one more try. She called back in, and supposedly her line is working now. And we can hear you. Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, okay. But sometimes I have a cheap phone with a cheap service. It's called Cricket, so I get bad reception. It's a cell phone. So
yeah, Mark just tried one of those cheapy services, and it didn't work out for him.
No.
Freedom Pop, was it?
Yeah, it didn't work out well.
Yeah, not so great. So what were you calling about?
I just want to say that, this 2-cent gas tax that's supposed to be put on, well, it's going to be fought over, constantly fighting back and forth. We're not going to know until 4 weeks before when the early voting starts. September 1st.
Is this in Albuquerque? This is the Albuquerque proposed 2-cent gas tax?
The Albuquerque proposal that the city council, I believe, is voting on whether to place on the ballot.
It always seems these gas taxes that are put on the locality is always very difficult because, well, I mean, people that drive in and out of town, they're just going to get their gas outside of town. Go ahead, Sarah.
Well, the thing is, here's what the big fight argument is now? They want to amend that. They're so mad that if there is a 1 penny that goes to the ARP, the rapid transit, that people they're fighting over that because they want to write the amendment excluding that.
Isn't it ugly to have people fighting so much? Isn't it distasteful to have people at each other's throats over these things, Sarah?
Well, I mean, it's so silly. The whole thing about raising this tax is to improve sidewalks, the bicycle lane, and improve intersections.
Now, just think if you didn't propose raising...
So why are you charging people that drive cars for fixing the sidewalks that they're not driving on?
Well, you know what? They try to kill the pedestrians every day. That's
no, they don't try to kill. They're not playing Grand Theft Auto Go of 50 points for taking out the pedestrian on the right sidewalk.
Yeah, I mean, if they were trying to get you, they would have by now.
Well, the thing about it is I want them to pay for my sidewalk because I don't buy gas. What's wrong with that?
Well, why shouldn't the walkers pay for the sidewalk and the drivers pay for the road? I mean, doesn't that make more sense?
No, but people that walk and ride bike, we pay taxes too and pay for the roads for the drivers to drive on.
She might be right about that.
There's certainly some crossover there. Yeah.
How about this? How about nobody pays taxes anymore, and the people that want roads could pay for those roads, and the people that want sidewalks could pay for sidewalks?
Well, it sounds kind of good, but
all right, we're finally in agreement. Thank you for the call tonight, Sarah. I appreciate it. I remember back there was this local show here in Keene, New Hampshire. It used to be on Saturday mornings called Talkback, and it was hosted by local politician Cynthia Georgina. and it was on for years. It's finally she finally retired from it, but I think she's like in her 80s. Anyway, I would call in to that show frequently, usually on a weekly basis, and talk about some sort of libertarian stand on an issue. And of course, when education would inevitably come up, because 60 or 70% of everybody's tax bills out here in the western side of New Hampshire go towards the government school system or the government indoctrination system, I would frequently bring up
the middle-class welfare babysitting day prison.
I would frequently bring up the idea that, hey, wouldn't it be nice if we could just consensually or voluntarily fund these government schools and, get them out of the hands of the government? And she would admit that, yeah, that sounds like a nice idea, but it's not possible. And
it's probably not possible for one politician to do.
No, not for one politician to do, but the defeatist idea, this mindset
it is a daunting task.
Sure, but if you don't believe it's possible, then it never will be.
49 out of 50 states have public education actually written into the Constitution. New Hampshire's the only one that doesn't.
But there's a Supreme Court case, isn't there?
But there's a Supreme Court case called the Claremont decision that essentially takes the word cherish.
Right. The New Hampshire Constitution does say that the state shall cherish education. It also says something about seminaries and the arts, but yet nobody has, used some weird loopy interpretation on those to mean that the state should fund religious institutions to teach people how to be clergy, or that the state should wind up buying every crappy piece of art because we're supposed to cherish art.
And it's an excellent point, right? So if we could get that turned around, but essentially what you've got to do is you've got to stack the deck so thoroughly with libertarian politicians that I think it's the governor, Darryl, that appoints the Supreme Court nominee, the nominates the Supreme Court justices.
I believe so. The governor also decides who is on the Board of Education. There are a bunch of things that in New Hampshire are political appointees that in most of the rest of the country are elected positions.
All the judges are political appointees here.
Yeah, so if you would have to get basically a libertarian governor in place and then have a bunch of libertarians appointed to, the Supreme Court whenever they die off or whatever, and then these other Board of Education positions. And, it could be that the town would then be responsible for some, low-level education. Okay, well, give every kid a laptop and an internet connection and let them learn. That's how my son's learning. Right there on the internet. All the great education you need right there on the internet. Now, I'm not saying that every kid can learn the same way. I wouldn't be so vain and bold to say that. But that's what the government school education system says, right? Like, they're all going to learn this way. I went from being on the dean's list with a 3.6 grade average, more than a 3.6 grade average in private school in 8th grade to 9th grade going to a public school and flunking out of 2 courses. That just goes to show, I mean, you're clearly dealing with a kid that can handle, the education if it's done well. Well, that's what happens when you turn teachers into bureaucrats.
It's true. And I think that those things are going to be possible as more people move here, as part of the different migrations that are going on. There are a couple different active libertarian voluntarist migrations that are, bringing thousands of people here. Thousands of people have already moved, and thousands more are pledged to make the move here to New Hampshire. And we're seeing them coming in. It's the summertime, or it's coming up on summertime here in New Hampshire. We're getting ready to head out to Somalia Fest, and then the Porcupine Freedom Festival happens after that.
Somalia Fest needs a new name.
Yeah, I didn't pick the name, dude. But
why don't you move to Somalia?
Right, that's what it's all about. Yep.
So
the fiends are brilliant,
it's a
but
big,
God.
giant libertarian inner joke.
It is.
Yeah.
So anyway, I recently met a libertarian couple who moved not too long ago, and they didn't sign up
for anything. So you got people who've signed up for these movements and are moving, but then there's the people who don't like to join things, and they're coming as well. And they're coming because we're having success. They're coming because it makes sense to combine efforts together to achieve liberty in our lifetime. They're coming because we're having not just political success, but there's been, some really epic civil disobedience that has gone on here that has gotten a lot of attention. I think, rightfully so.
Attention.
The Libertarian Party has really started to shine within just the last year since Darryl and Roger Paxton took over the chairman and vice chairman roles.
You deserve a certain amount of credit for that too, but yeah, Darryl and
I don't
Roger
deserve any credit for Darryl winning the chairmanship. He did that on his own.
No, you started back in the Libertarian Party here in the state.
I recorded some videos of them. I mean, that's nice.
You did more than a hell of a lot of people
have.
Well,
thanks, but Darryl gets all the credit with Roger and the rest of the board of directors.
The rest of the EC gets the credit.
Yeah, they've done a lot of real great work, and the third non-libertarian state rep is going to flip to libertarian coming up within the next couple weeks.
Bitcoin.com is the most unique online destination in the Bitcoin universe. Buying Bitcoin? Do it here. Want to speak your mind to other Bitcoin users? Our forum is always open and censorship free at forum.bitcoin.com. There's no bigger Bitcoin believers than the Bitcoin.com team. That's why this site is a one-stop shop for everything you need to get into Bitcoin life. You can also play games at games.bitcoin.com. Learn more at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu 641-793-9660.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, June 14th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.93 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,266 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,750. Antiwar.com reports the Senate has voted on the resolution introduced by Senators Rand Paul and Chris Murphy of Kentucky and Connecticut, respectively, aiming to block portions of President Trump's $110 billion arms sale to Saudi Arabia. The vote was as expected, far closer than previous ones on previous arms deals, failing with just a 47-53 margin. Senator Paul spoke extensively on the need to limit arms sales to Saudi Arabia, citing the humanitarian calamity of the Saudi invasion of neighboring Yemen, warning it has linked Saudi Arabia's tactics to the United States' support in the minds of the Yemenis. Paul cited the very troubled record of Saudi Arabia on human rights and cautioned that the record arms deal with them would serve to fuel hostility towards the United States abroad, citing specific incidents of Saudi warplanes bombing hospitals and funerals. Senators Lindsey Graham and John McCain of South Carolina and Arizona, meanwhile, argued that the arms might conceivably help the humanitarian crisis in Yemen because the U.S. makes smarter weapons that are more accurate. This argument was made in spite of the Saudi government already using U.S. bombs throughout the war. The two also argued that arming Saudi Arabia was an excellent way for the U.S. to move against Iran. It's unlikely that the arguments were seriously impactful on the vote, however. Rather, support for the arms deal is primarily bolstered by lobbying from major U.S. arms makers who stand to make tens of billions of dollars exporting weapons to the Saudis to keep the Yemen war going. But for 5 Senate Democrats who voted against the resolution, it could have easily passed aspects of the sales, and those Democrats almost certainly weren't swayed by Lindsey Graham's say-so. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Apple issued its second green bond on Tuesday to fund the tech company's renewable energy efforts, valued at $1 billion. Last year, the company based in Cupertino, California, sold $1.5 billion worth of bonds in its quest to run 100% of its operations on renewable energy. Apple said the bond sale will also help support its plan for a closed-loop supply chain, products made entirely using recycled materials. The company is investing in several non-fossil fuel projects, solar energy, hydroelectric plants, and biogas facilities in Oregon, North Carolina, Nevada, Arizona, and California. That includes $850 million on a 130-megawatt solar farm near San Francisco over the next 25 years. Apple says its new Cupertino headquarters runs entirely on renewable energy and includes rooftop solar panels supplemented by fuel cells. Apple also has received permission to sell power to the wholesale energy markets. 2 weeks ago, Apple criticized President Donald Trump's decision to pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord, signed by almost 200 countries, aimed at curbing greenhouse gas emissions. The company was among several companies pledging to continue supporting efforts to meet the Paris Agreement. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Get it today at getcell411.com. Reuters reports Otto Warmbier, an American university student held prisoner in North Korea for 17 months and said by his family to be in a coma, has been medically evacuated from the reclusive country after a rare visit there from a high-level U.S. official. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Warmbier, a University of Virginia student from suburban Cincinnati, was on his way back to the United States Tuesday evening. The release came after Joseph Yoon, a State Department special envoy on North Korea, traveled to Pyongyang and demanded his freedom on humanitarian grounds, capping a flurry of secret diplomatic contacts, according to U.S. officials. Warmbier was detained in January 2016 and sentenced to 15 years of hard labor in March last year for trying to steal an item with a propaganda slogan. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Turning to health news, doctors at Johns Hopkins Medical School have discovered that bones are the coolest part of the body. The 10-year study found that although the body has many cool things in it, nothing is cooler than your skeleton.
Just think about it. You have this soft, fleshy body, but inside of it, there's a second, tinier body that's made out of a super hard rock. Our data is conclusive. Bones are very, very cool.
To conduct the study, researchers examined every single body part and determined how cool or uncool it was.
We initially thought the brain might be the coolest part because it's like a computer that runs on food. But when we looked at it up close, it was all gross and wrinkled. Brains are not cool. Bones are cool.
Doctors discovered that there are big, strong bones like baseball bats in your arms and legs, hand bones that look like a monster claw, and skull bones that make a scary face. Doctors did caution that as cool as human bones are, they're not nearly as cool as dinosaur bones.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We invite you right here to join us toll free at 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl. And Mark.
Our Skype username, should you like to join us there, is LRN.FM. And we're going to actually go to Skype to start out this hour where Bad Slave is calling. Oh, except there's some sort of audio looping back there, and I don't know if that's him that's doing that, because it wasn't doing that when I checked his audio during the break. So if that's going to keep bouncing back, we're going to have to iron that out at a later time. So I'll ask Bad Slave to hang on there until we can figure out where that's coming from. Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And again, Skype username is LRN.FM. So let's see. We've talked about animals. This, there was this 170 dogs, 170 Yorkshire Terriers found in a home, and a couple of hoarders. Bernie supporters shooting up a Republican practice session for a baseball game, a congressional baseball game. I don't know if there was really more to say about that. I mean, I guess we'd sort of gone off barely and talked about how violence isn't the solution, and maybe that deserves some further discussion.
The article from the New York Times, while being quite lengthy, there's one other bit of info here that, since it was mentioned about the shooting, seems to be fairly relevant to sort of tell you something about this guy. Hodgkinson was his last name.
Right, he's dead now.
They said he seemed to be a fervent opponent of President Trump. He had signed an online petition calling for Trump's impeachment, posted it on Facebook with the chilling comment, quote, "It's time to destroy Trump and co."
Yeah, it's not chilling. That's a pretty ordinary comment. Yeah. Well, it's a threat only after you shoot up a Republican baseball practice.
Right. It could mean, let's vote the bums out.
It means, that's what that means when you post it on Facebook. It's time to destroy Trump and co. I mean, that's not... let's go buy rifles and pick off Republicans one at a time at baseball practice. There's a threat.
Yes.
So, if you want to comment on that, you're welcome to. We also have an update on Otto Warmbier, who listeners within the last year may recall. That is the name of the college-age young man who went to North Korea and ended up in North Korean custody.
Made a very bad decision.
Made a probably drunken bad decision would be my guess, or maybe just a stupid bad decision. But either way, he took a banner of some sort from the hotel, some kind of political banner. We worship our Kim Jong-un or his
according
father.
to the article that I read earlier, it was reported by the U.S. government as being a banner with Korean propaganda.
Well, of course. I mean, almost every banner is probably a Korean propaganda banner.
Yeah, they did not take kindly to that.
Yeah.
It's a bad choice to go to North Korea and decide that I bet they'd think it was funny too.
Yeah. It's not like you could have a banner to advertise your business in North Korea because the state runs, pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
So banners are almost always likely going to be political propaganda in a place like that. And he took one thinking that it was going to, be a souvenir, and it ended up getting him in a prison camp. And of course, there ever since then has been a call to release him, and there's been negotiations to that end. And well, they did release him, according to the Washington Post. Cincinnati, a plane-carrying University of Virginia student, Otto Warmbier, who had been detained in North Korea for 17 months and was in a coma for most of that time, which we didn't know about, I don't think, until just now.
Yeah, I didn't know about it. It's not like there's daily dispatches of today in North Korea coming across the AP wire.
Right, yeah, you don't get updates out of North Korea. The 22-year-old's return marks an end to the ordeal that his family has been through, not knowing what had happened to Warmbier since he was sentenced to 15 years in prison with hard labor in March of last year.
Yeah, so...
for stealing a banner.
That leaves me wondering how he ended up in the coma, I think, is my first question.
Severe beatings, supposedly. That comes up here, I think.
That would be, probably he wasn't cut out for hard labor.
Hard to do hard labor when you're in a coma.
Yeah, well, it's...
The beatings continue until morale improves. Get out of your coma.
Wake up.
Well, he probably, the stealing of a banner sounds like a petulant child's crime in the first place. And he's probably... if he's like the vast majority of Americans, not prepared for hard, probably farm labor.
Sure.
And
he's a soft-handed college boy.
Right.
Probably hasn't worked a day in his life.
The guards were flabbergasted at what an inefficient farm laborer he was and felt like, I know how to fix this the same way we do with the donkey. And they beat the hell out of him again and again and again until...
You're not justifying it. You're just explaining that's probably what happened.
Oh, I don't think it's... I don't... What is there to justify? justify. I think it was unwise for him to do the things he did in North Korea, and
it's unwise to go to North Korea.
What North Korea should do, however, is unload the guy in the coma as quick as possible. Holding on to this guy for this long period of time, I mean, I guess maybe hoping that that he was going to fix himself, but they essentially murdered a U.S. citizen now over a propaganda banner.
Well, there are some people that would say that, completely justified because, he
broke the
committed
law.
theft.
The law is the law.
And you can use any sort of, violence at your disposal to take care of a thief.
Well, they can say whatever they want. I would say that the banner was made with stolen money in the first place, so getting all excited about it,
Is it stolen money if the money was all the government's in the first place? I mean, they don't really tax people there, do they?
They take their labor.
Yes, that's true.
So
yeah. Friends, according to the story here, the fact that he had been kept comatose in North Korea for more than a year could worsen the already tense relationship between Pyongyang and Washington, although I doubt it. Friends and well-wishers gathered outside of Cincinnati.
They're threatening to shoot nuclear weapons at us.
I'm not sure how this is going to make it worse. Cincinnati's Lunken Airport terminal ahead of the plane's arrival at 10:20 local time cheered when the plane landed. Otto's parents, Fred and Cindy, boarded the plane and came out a few minutes later. The medical personnel then carried Otto, who had a shaved head and tube in his nose, off the plane and onto a stretcher. He was then placed in an ambulance and taken to the University of Cincinnati's Medical Center. Locals were waiting for him at the airport fence, holding signs saying "Welcome home, Otto" and prayers for Otto, which seemed like they were signs more for his parents.
Sure.
Right, I was going to say, why hold signs? He's in a coma. He can't read them.
Yeah, all the parents can.
Charlotte and David Simons, who said they've been friends of the family for more than 30 years, came to watch his flight come in too, saying they were just there to support Cindy and Fred and the family. She was feeling sick to my stomach for them and thinking of how her son or their son should have been graduating from college this spring. David Simons was marveling that another country could treat an American like this. He said, shaking his head, "I can only feel for what the family is going through." After a senior State Department official flew to Pyongyang to demand Warmbier's release on humanitarian grounds, he was flown out in a medical evacuation. So, what are the odds that he's going to come out of a coma after having been likely neglected medically for, more than a year in North Korea? I mean, they don't have the best medical care.
Right, but the fact that he has remained alive
is a good sign.
And the fact that they were able to fly him out is a good sign. Because if you're in a certain level of health, it is unsafe to have you do any kind of traveling.
Really?
So, the fact that he was able to be flown out of North Korea is a really good sign.
I would say the parents are probably going to do their best to get the best medical treatment for Otto.
I'm sure
and
they
I
are.
hope that he gets it.
I suspect they'll, if they need to, crowdfunding will likely raise some money for this.
If you go for the idea that every life has a purpose, Otto's purpose is to probably show North Korea this whole incarceration of Americans thing over frivolous nonsense, dumb, right? Like they don't.
You think
look
it'll show them
good
that?
here.
They don't care, dude. They want to teach people a lesson.
They want very much.
This is the equivalent of
What's the
putting
lesson?
Ross Ulbricht in prison for the rest of his life.
With Ross, no. They look bad to everybody on this one.
But they always look bad to everybody. Since when do they
Except
care?
for the people inside North Korea.
Well, right. To them, they can do no wrong. I mean, if they've been brainwashed.
They don't see it that way. No.
Who doesn't see it that way?
The North Korean government.
They don't see it.
They see themselves as beset on all sides by aggressors.
855 450 free like freedom. Well, that much seems to be true. Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com. You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. healthexcellenceselect.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free, bring up anything that you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. What's the North Korean government's explanation for why Otto Warmbier is in a coma and has been for more than a year in North Korean custody? Just recently, this week, released back into the United States to the custody of his parents. Again, still in a coma. We'll explain that coming up here. They'll give you their explanation in moments. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And also want to let you know about SaveItPurse.com. If you want to save big time on your purchases at Amazon, you can easily do that. Save 20% if you want. I frequently save 20% by using SaveItPurse.com. That's Save at Purse, SaveAtPurse.com. It allows you to save whatever discount you want, up to as much as 33% off. Now, the higher the discount you request, the longer it might take to fulfill your order, because basically what you're doing is you're selling your Bitcoin to somebody, and in return, they're buying you the stuff you want on Amazon. And so they are are paying quite a premium to acquire that Bitcoin, and they've got their reasons for that, whatever those are. And apparently, there's plenty of people who are willing to pay 20% over the price of Bitcoin to acquire it.
And I've heard that a lot of the people, and this is somewhat speculation that it's a lot, but a number of people that wind up buying the Bitcoin through Purse have Amazon credit that they can't otherwise use. So the way that they can convert that to something that is usable for them is to wind up buying the Bitcoin using Save It Purse.
Yeah, that's something much more useful if you have Bitcoin, because then you don't just have to spend it at Amazon. You can spend it at a bunch of different places. So you go to Save It Purse, saveatpurse.com, get started there. And yes, you do have to have Bitcoin or some other form of cryptocurrency. That is the one catch to this. You can't use Federal Reserve notes because nobody's willing to pay 20% more for a Federal Reserve note. So go to saveitpurse.com. As we go to Bad Slave, we've double-checked his audio connection and all sounds clear. So you're on Skype. Go ahead, Bad Slave, calling from New Hampshire.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Ian, Mark, and Darryl. I do appreciate this outlet. And I wanted to talk about, police activity. And, I mean, you guys brought up earlier the shooting at the baseball field,
right?
And that I guess they weren't killed, but there were two policemen murdered. I mean, shot.
They were shot, yeah.
Shot, yeah. And so I mean, it's like, and eventually the guy got himself killed, and there's nothing really to argue about what happened there. I mean, somebody brought a gun and decided to kill people, and others stopped him by killing him. I'm not going to complain about that. What's going on, though, in general, is there's a lot more activity between cops and the general public, in being detained, particularly as motorists on the side of the road.
You say there's more compared to when?
Well, they keep passing more and more laws, like you can't be using your cell phone, or you.
I see.
I mean, they keep giving more and more reasons. So I'm
right, like a seatbelt law that goes from a secondary offense to a primary offense, to where a cop can now pull you over for that kind of thing. I see what you're saying.
Distracted driving.
They aren't getting rid of the old laws that haven't been working, and they've been adding plenty of new laws.
Yep, that's true.
So I'm just assuming that, and here's another problem, is that the statistics available over exactly what's going on with police, particularly when there's bad outcomes, like somebody dies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ultimately, the police are not supposed to kill people. They're supposed to capture them and bring them to justice, right?
That's the notion, yeah.
Right.
That's the theory, yes.
And of course, the efforts that they will go to, do that are, seem to be diminishing over time.
I just saw a video where it was posted on the Free Talk Live AMP forum of some psycho cop standing on the side of an interstate in like Fort Worth, Texas, literally spraying pepper spray as a group of bikers passed by him in the next lane. Just pepper spraying bikers.
It makes you wonder why, doesn't it?
He's a psychopath.
Now, the question is, and
that's
the video,
a danger.
The video did not show this. He was not wearing safety goggles.
No, he wasn't.
Did the wind by chance turn on him and he basically pepper sprayed himself? Because that would be hilarious.
It would be. Unfortunately, the video came from one of the bikers, so you only get to see it for like 5 seconds. It's not very long. It's, as they're passing, he sort of whips his head around. You can see, and then they freeze frame and do super slow mo, and you can see, because just at regular speed you can't tell if he's using the pepper spray. But then when he zooms in and closes, it's crystal clear at the zoomed in slow mo.
Yes. Does he have his teeth gritted with a crazy look at his face?
He looks crazy, but just looks like a typical young hardhead, tough cop guy.
And the thing is, all of the guys on the bikes appeared to have goggles on.
Yeah. It's still not going to be comfortable, though.
No,
you
don't
don't
want to inhale that
that
stuff. But regardless, it's
you guys are fading in and out on.
Yeah, there's a bad internet connection here. Bad Slave. You sound
Can you
okay.
hear me all right?
Yeah, if you want to go ahead with your comments,
Ian?
you're welcome to. But you can't hear us, so that's not going to work. We're just going to disconnect you. Thanks
Did
for
he
the
call
call.
me Renee?
He might have.
I think he said Ian, Mark, Renee there at the end. No, I'm not Renee.
No, you don't resemble her at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. And that's a good thing in a lot of ways. So anyway, toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Is that more about psycho cops? I mean, is there more to say there? There's plenty of stories. I mean, we could go on and on. Copblock.org, photographyisnotacrime.com. There's so many psycho cop stories. The guys who are running those websites are getting burned out just from having to cover it so consistently.
I will say, because whenever you talk about a psycho cop, somebody is always going to say, it's just a few bad apples.
Ugh.
Finish the entire sentence.
Right.
A few bad apples spoil the bunch.
Yeah.
You don't just leave a few bad apples in a container of apples because you know what happens to the rest of the apples. You get rid of the few bad apples. You get rid of them.
Well, I would hope that this video of the cops spraying these bikers would result in some investigation that will ultimately result in someone who clearly has anger management issues, or at least
we investigated. He did nothing wrong, right. But he got a paid vacation.
He was just testing his pepper spray on the side of the road.
We've investigated it ourselves, and it turns out that our union won't allow us to find having done anything wrong. Like, it's nuts.
So he got a paid vacation. I mean, administrative leave.
So North Korea, we'll get back into that story coming up here in moments. We can go to Patrick meantime. He is a cop in Bullhead City, Arizona. Go ahead, Patrick. Hello? Patrick in Bullhead City? Yes. We hear you now. We hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, in fairness to law enforcement, the gentleman's right. We're supposed to apprehend and not do harm. But a lot of cases lately, there are so many people right now that have a negative tone towards police officers. And a lot of accidents have been happening because people are defending themselves.
Stand by, Patrick. We'll bring you back here. It's Free Talk Live.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
Do you know what's lurking in your water? More than 200 contaminants could be sitting there, just waiting for your glass. With a ProPure water filter, start enjoying clean and great-tasting water today. ProPure filters, independently tested, latest water filter technology. ProPure systems do not require electricity and are easy to set up and easy to use. To find out more, visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way.
Love as your guide.
And liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You dial on in toll free if you want to join us here. You may. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, so Skype in here at Skype username LRN.FM. And we do have the ability to put Skype video on now. No one has done that yet. But if you do, we can use it. Or maybe somebody did. Maybe I'm thinking of Cody's show. Anyway, Cody.com, and get the stuff you need on Amazon and feel good because Free Talk Live gets a cut of the purchase. If you don't go to shop.freetalklive.com, you're going to pay the same prices, and then Amazon keeps it all. So if you want them to send some of it back to us, then you go to shop.freetalklive.com, and there are links there for Amazon Canada, UK, and Amazon US. Once again, that's shop.freetalklive.com. We got a police officer on the line calling us, listening to K-Talks. He's Patrick in Bullhead City, Arizona. Patrick, go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, to correct him, we don't make the laws as officers.
No,
all we get is a list of laws that we have to enforce.
I'm not going to say all you do is get a list of laws, because I have seen, and Ian has seen, and a bunch of other people have seen police officers go to the legislature and advocate for new laws and advocate against repealing laws.
Yeah, that's true. They do that a lot.
Yes. It's just that, there are certain laws that recently have been put on the book because of unsafe driving, like texting. It isn't smart. You guys can agree to that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's not smart, but
I just responded to a scene yesterday of what appeared to be a distracted driver that caused another driver to have to drive into the guardrail. The guy's life is ruined as a result.
The research that I have seen is that in the 18 to 25 demographic, the number of texting/phone-related accidents has gone up
since the laws
in places where those laws have been implemented, because they're still using the phones, but instead of holding the phone up in like the line of vision to where they can still kind of see the road,
that's right,
they're looking down at their crotch.
Right. That's what I would call an unintended consequence, right? Where the politicians thought they could just go ahead and legislate behavior, and they wrote this law, and guess what? People are going to do whatever they want to do, and now they're just being more sneaky about it, which is putting more people in danger. And I see this all the time. I
agree with you completely. I agree with you guys completely on that, because it's funny because you got certain things that you look for drunk drivers or impaired drivers. People that are dangerous, swerving, things like that, and you do a point system on them. But you'd be surprised at how many people that we end up pulling over that aren't drunk but were texting.
I wouldn't be surprised. I believe you.
It's worse than drunk driving, from what I can tell.
And to be honest with you, I think I've talked to you about this thing. Things have changed with officers. It isn't like it used to be when I first started. Everything's changed. I mean, including the psychological profile test that you got to take. And you were a corrections officer, so you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, Darryl was.
Yes. And
Darryl,
actually,
you know that it's
you're talking about the one that's 587 questions.
Oh, mine was over 2,000, and it's gone way down since then. I really, be honest with you, I wish they would screen officers better instead of going by, well, can you run this time? Can you do that? Can you do that? Because I think a lot of it has to do with how you deal with people.
Yeah,
and,
I would agree with you.
And the original test dealt with that. It dealt with actually profiling people if they were too aggressive or just too passive, and it would allow a person who was evenly balanced. And a lot of things have changed, and I disagree with a lot of things that are going on out there, like the aggressive training that they're doing now. And to be honest with you, nobody wants to be a Rambo. You know what I'm saying?
Well, some people do. There are the people who join the police because they want to be a thug. Like, there are those people. In fact, I remember there was you speak of things that have changed over time. Many years ago now, it's probably been almost a decade since this guy called the show, but there was a guy named Jeff who was a police trainer who called our show. We actually ended up meeting him. I think it was at a Liberty Forum event here in New Hampshire years ago. So, he was the real deal. He really was a police trainer. That was his job.
His neck had muscles that I would have never expected to see.
Yeah, and he and what he told us was that he was quitting his job because he couldn't take it anymore. What had changed is very much what you're saying, Patrick. The quality of the recruits had gone down dramatically over time, to where he said that in any class that he was teaching, there might be 10, maybe 15% of the students that he felt had what it takes to be a good police officer. He said that most of the rest of them were what he described as badge heavies, people who got into this because they wanted to wield power over people.
And, this is out to all fellow police officers out there. Hey, you're affecting people's lives. Put yourself in their place. I mean, don't make the same mistakes they do, but put yourself in their place and approach it like that. Approach equals response.
Empathy. Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice.
Yeah, you shouldn't let your empathy get you in a situation where your safety is compromised.
Sure.
But at the same time,
cautious empathy. How about cautious empathy?
Yeah, cautious empathy is a really great terminology. Yeah.
Patrick, as always, appreciate you speaking out. I wish more officers were, as thoughtful as you are, and I thank you for the call tonight.
When I'm dealing with police officers at a scene, an accident scene or something like that, and that's when I come across them the vast majority of the time these days, I'm dealing with professionals that are attempting to, shed some of the misery of dealing with terrible accidents, right?
Yeah, sure.
These guys have to see more than I do. I'm just, one town. These stadies, they're all over the place. Somebody's wrapped around a telephone pole, off in a guardrail.
And they're in, helpful mode to some extent. They're trying to do their best to.
Well, they've also got to ascertain what happened.
Right.
So the accident that I was at yesterday could very well have been the guy. It's a single car accident. Why is it a single car accident? Was this guy texting? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. Well, they were able to corroborate the story that he gave, which was essentially somebody came off into his lane and he had to take evasive action to get out of the way.
Right.
And
better to run into a pole than to run into a car going 50 miles the other direction, right?
Yeah, we don't know exactly why the person was in that other lane, but because they got away, they just left. And that's another reason why you should have a dash cam, by the way. They're great because you can just pull up that license number, give it to the police, and there you go.
Depends. I mean, if a car is moving quickly, it might be very difficult to get a picture of their.
The newer ones are going to have pretty good cameras in them.
True. Yeah, I would guess you're probably right about that. If you can get a progressive scan 1080p or something like that.
Zoom.
It doesn't work like that in real life.
It doesn't work like that in real
Only
life.
in the movies.
It works that way on
Enhance.
CIS and Boston Legal and all those other shows that I have heard of,
but either way, they're guessing that it was probably a cell phone incident, and this guy's life was basically ruined. He didn't have a lot of money. He didn't have insurance on his car.
Yeah.
He did everything right in this circumstance, but he ended up going to the hospital with a neck injury. I presume that he's gonna have to pay for that at some point. This is a huge financial burden for this guy.
Yep, just because you don't have to have insurance in New Hampshire doesn't mean you shouldn't.
Yeah, he certainly should have had insurance, but he had a crappy car too. I know what it's like making that decision. My car's not that big of a deal. What's the risk? I'm gonna be hurt.
Right.
Well, there you go.
Toll-free number if you want to join us here on the radio, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Speaking of people with serious injuries, we have yet to get the North Korea explanation for what happened with Otto Warmbier, the college student who is now in a coma and has been for apparently more than a year at this point, and had been sentenced to 15 years of hard labor.
Lazy American. He just sleep.
Oh, God. We'll come back with more Free Talk Live.
Warning. If you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears, because there's an alternative to bankruptcy, and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now, 1-800-660-1581. That's 1-800-660-1581. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581.
Are you drowning in debt? Are you struggling to make minimum payments? If this sounds like you, know that it's not your fault. Credit card debt happens to good people. We've helped thousands of good people just like you become debt-free with our Debt Reset program. Our Debt Reset program is customized to get you debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months with one low monthly payment. You don't pay a dime until we succeed. Call now to see how we can work for you. 800-912-6177. That's 800-912-6177. Again, 800-912-6177.
Yesterday, I got a call from the IRS. They say I owe them over $16,000. I don't have that kind of money.
Don't try to fight the IRS on your own. Use Coast One Financial Group and let them help you get a fresh start. If you owe at least $10,000 in back taxes, call now for a free and confidential tax debt analysis. Call Coast One now for a free consultation at 800-643-4661 now. 800-643-4661. That's 800-643-4661.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us on the radio. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. It's very rare that you get news from inside of North Korea. In this case, the news is coming out of North Korea, where Otto Warmbier, who is a college student, or was, he's now in a coma, but as of...
Might still be technically enrolled in college.
Perhaps. But he's been in a North Korean work camp prison, or at least that's where he started his 15-year-long sentence after being sentenced for stealing a propaganda sign of some sort, some kind of a poster or banner at the hotel that he was staying at in North Korea, which, again, put him in prison, and at some point he slipped into a coma. So what's the excuse? What's the reason for this coma, according to the North Korean government? We'll tell you that coming up here, and you can join us toll-free at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Coming up in, let's see, about less than 24 to 48 hours, we're going to be at Somalia Fest, which is happening this weekend through, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe?
That name makes it seem so desirable.
Well, again, I didn't pick the name, Mark. You're welcome to...
Somalia Fest officially ends Tuesday. The Porcupine Freedom Festival begins Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. So it starts...
I think we should have our own concurrent with Somalia Fest, the Shire Fest.
Shire Fest?
Yes, I think we should have
Well, you'll
Shire
have to work
Fest.
on that for next year, Mark.
Well,
but for now, Somalia Fest is happening.
We just have our own Shire Fest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could do that. But for now, it's Somalia Fest because that's what's been promoted. That's what people are expecting to attend this weekend. And it kicks off on Friday. This is going to be a bunch of liberty-minded folks who... Maybe some of them are a little frustrated with the Free State Project and their restrictions that they placed on, let's say, Free Talk Live, for instance, last year, where we had been attending the Porcupine Freedom Festival for many years and broadcasting from it. Last year, we were banned. I was personally banned. Free Talk Live as a show was banned, so the two of you are allowed to attend.
Yes, we can go to their event.
Porcupine Freedom Festival. I understand that Darryl is going. Mark, you are not.
I've got things to do. It's expensive to go to these things.
That's true.
I've got pigs to take care of. I've got a family. And
Darryl's going to run a LP booth,
yes,
outreach table.
And I'm packing lunch.
You're packing your lunch.
Yes.
Okay.
That way I'm not having to buy food every day.
I see. Yeah, that could get a little pricey. But yeah, so we're going to go to Somalia Fest. We're going to be there. We'll not be broadcasting live from Somalia Fest, which will be a different experience for Free Talk Live. If you've been to see us perform at Pork Fest, you know that we were live at those events, usually in front of some level of a studio audience. Some nights fairly busy. Most nights, not so much, because people are all busy partying or doing what they're doing. So this time, we're going to be doing recorded interviews, and I think that'll be a kind of a different feel. We're going to be outdoors instead of inside what sometimes can be a stuffy, hot studio.
Yes.
So at least it'll probably still be hot, but it won't be stuffy outdoors.
Yeah, according to the weather, 10-day weather forecast, it's supposed to rain.
Really?
From Friday all the way through next Sunday. So the entirety of Somalia Fest, Shire Fest, Pork Fest,
raining.
All of it, between 50 to 60% chance of rain every day.
Well, we can always record in our hotel room if necessary. So we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a different event. It's going to be the whole point of Somalia Fest, besides promoting the new Free State Pirate Party, which I'm very interested in learning about, is also going to be just more of a decentralized event where there is no central control. There's no organizer. There's no official itinerary. There may be speeches, but if they are, they're happening just sort of on their own at different campsites or whatever. And how you find out about them, I don't know. I know there's a Somalia Fest event on Facebook. Maybe people can connect there. There's a Somalia Fest thread on the Shire Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. So that might be another way to find out who's going to be there and what's happening.
And there's also a SomaliaFest.com website.
That's right.
Where if you go to it, instead of saying sign me up for your email list, it says send memes.
That's cute.
So you put in an email address and then click send memes.
I don't know if I've gotten any memes from them. Have you?
I've not signed up for their meme list because I didn't know they had one because I'd not gone to the website yet. I just was curious if they had anything on their website.
Well, it's not too late to get up here for it because, again, it kicks off on Friday. It goes for several days.
It's probably going to be, like the event used to be, and it's going to be great.
Like PorkFest used to be, you mean, that event? Back when it was not so organized and more sort of decentralized, people just showing up and camping and figuring it out as they go along. How many vendors there will be, we don't know. We've never seen this before. It's the first time Somalia Fest has been its own festival. It sort of kicked off as a little camping area last year at the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and now they broke it out into its own event, especially since PorcFest cut their time in half. So PorcFest apparently kept the same ticket prices last year, but sliced the number of days in half that they're doing. And so that made more room for Somalia Fest. So they broke it out. And if you want to learn more, it's somaliafest.com. So check that out there. And, of course, we're going to tell you a lot more about it when we're actually there on site. And, I didn't mention this. It's happening in the beautiful White Mountains of northern New Hampshire.
It's gorgeous there.
At a campground that we love very much called Rogers Campground. Absolutely spectacular view of the mountains and should be a good group of folks.
It's got the best view.
It's a huge view. It really is.
Huge.
All right, so back to the story.
Everybody thinks so.
Otto Warmbier, his parents hadn't heard or seen him since he was sentenced in March of 2016 for attempting to steal a propaganda poster at the end of a 5-day tour of North Korea. The story from WashingtonPost.com. But amid the relief, there were new questions about what happened to him. And just in case you're just tuning in, college-age young man has come back from North Korea in a coma. And apparently he's been in a coma for more than a year there. So, questions about what happened to him. How did a healthy young man fall into such a deep coma? The North Korean government told his parents that food poisoning was to blame. And how does the Trump...
Lack of food poisoning?
How does the Trump administration respond? 3 other American citizens are being detained in North Korea at a time when Kim Jong-un has been firing missiles and threatening to strike the United States. President Trump has been vowing to exert maximum pressure on North Korea to make them abandon their nuclear weapons program, but has also dangled the prospect of talks with Kim, whom he called a smart cookie. Warmbier was flown out of North Korea on the same day that Dennis Rodman, the controversial former basketball star, arrived for his 5th visit to Pyongyang.
He's done more for U.S.-North Korean relations than any other person on the planet.
It's really a true statement. That's not a joke. That really is absolutely true. Dennis Rodman, it seems funny, but he really did go and really did meet with Kim Jong-un and, has apparently been the only American
together, apparently.
That's right. And apparently he's the only American who ever has met with Kim Jong-un, is what I've heard. So Dennis Rodman had nothing to do with the release of Mr. Warmbier, said the State Department spokesperson, adding the government was thankful that he would soon be home in his parents' arms. She also reiterated their travel advice against going to North Korea, which the United States has no diplomatic relations. She says, quote, let me reiterate this. We strongly, strongly suggest that Americans do not go to North Korea.
Now, that was the North Koreans or
no, that was the
parents?
State Department. That was the State Department.
U.S. State Department. Yeah. Okay.
At the time of his arrest, he had been on an organized New Year's tour in North Korea, a 5-day stopover on his way to Hong Kong for a study abroad trip. But on his final night in Pyongyang on New Year's Eve, I just thought he was – I didn't know it was New Year's Eve. I just thought college student, drinking, dumb move. Yeah, now I know it was drinking.
Yeah, and as I understand, when – there's just a lot of alcohol flowing when it comes to sort of Americans being over there for whatever reason. And good decisions and alcohol traditionally don't go together.
Yeah, bad mix to be in a complete, nightmare dictatorship and be drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a good combo.
Otto should have offered to spy for them.
He, on his final night, apparently went to a staff-only floor of the hotel and attempted to take down a large propaganda sign lauding the regime. He was charged with hostile acts against the state. Surrounded by North Korean guards, Warmbier delivered a highly scripted confession that appeared to have been written for him, and after an hour-long sham trial in March of 2016, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison with hard labor.
I'm just glad that they actually wound up calling the offense what it actually is.
Hostile act against the state?
That's basically the only crime. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what, little minutia or spin they put on it. Oh, you were speeding. You did this. You did that. No, the only crime is disrespecting the state.
Well, I think that there's certainly crimes against individuals. Certainly the state stands in the stead of the individual in that circumstance. Yes, I agree with you largely that states, it's all about protecting what they look like and how they appear. But...
The North Korean account claimed that Warmbier fell into a coma after being given a sleeping pill. They said they were told their son had remained in a coma since then.
You sleep too much.
Anyway, that's it. Of course, North Korea is not known for their great medical care, so it's good that he's back in the United States.
Hopefully they can do something for him.
Maybe we'll hear good news over time. Darryl says this bodes well that he's still in the coma and was able to be moved. We'll see you tomorrow night, freetalklive.com.
Do you ever say, I could care less, when you really mean the opposite? You mean to say, I couldn't care less. It's a common mistake. You are judged by how you speak, especially if you're looking for work, with so many more applicants than openings now. But even if you're not, avoiding common misstatements will help you make the most of the dozens of conversations and transactions that crowd your daily routine. So whatever you say, don't say whatever as a single word sentence. It's the most annoying expression in the American English language, according to a recent poll. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. But seriously, at the end of the day, you'll want to avoid this scenario, sounding like everyone else. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, June 14th, 2017. Silver's trading at $16.93 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,266 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,750. Antiwar.com reports the Senate has voted on the resolution introduced by Senators Rand Paul and Chris Murphy of Kentucky and Connecticut, respectively, aiming to block portions of President Trump's $110 billion arms sale to Saudi Arabia. The vote was as expected, far closer than previous ones on previous arms deals, failing with just a 47-53 margin. Senator Paul spoke extensively on the need to limit arms sales to Saudi Arabia, citing the humanitarian calamity of the Saudi invasion of neighboring Yemen, warning it has linked Saudi Arabia's tactics to the United States' support in the minds of the Yemenis. Paul cited the very troubled record of Saudi Arabia on human rights and cautioned that the record arms deal with them would serve to fuel hostility towards the United States abroad, citing specific incidents of Saudi warplanes bombing hospitals and funerals. Senators Lindsey Graham and John McCain of South Carolina and Arizona, meanwhile, argued that the arms might conceivably help the humanitarian crisis in Yemen because the U.S. makes smarter weapons that are more accurate. This argument was made in spite of the Saudi government already using U.S. bombs throughout the war. The two also argued that arming Saudi Arabia was an excellent way for the U.S. to move against Iran. It's unlikely that the arguments were seriously impactful on the vote, however. Rather, support for the arms deal is primarily bolstered by lobbying from major U.S. arms makers who stand to make tens of billions of dollars exporting weapons to the Saudis to keep the Yemen war going. But for 5 Senate Democrats who voted against the resolution, it could have easily passed aspects of the cells, and those Democrats almost certainly weren't swayed by Lindsey Graham's say-so. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Apple issued its second green bond on Tuesday to fund the tech company's renewable energy efforts, valued at $1 billion. Last year, the company based in Cupertino, California, sold $1.5 billion worth of bonds in its quest to run 100% of its operations on renewable energy. Apple said the bond sale will also help support its plan for a closed-loop supply chain, products made entirely using recycled materials. The company is investing in several non-fossil fuel projects, solar energy, hydroelectric plants, and biogas facilities in Oregon, North Carolina, Nevada, Arizona, and California. That includes $850 million on a 130-megawatt solar farm near San Francisco over the next 25 years. Apple says its new Cupertino headquarters runs entirely on renewable energy and includes rooftop solar panels supplemented by fuel cells. Apple also has received permission to sell power to the wholesale energy markets. 2 weeks ago, Apple criticized President Donald Trump's decision to pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord, signed by almost 200 countries, aimed at curbing greenhouse gas emissions. The company was among several companies pledging to continue supporting efforts to meet the Paris Agreement. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Get it today at getcell411.com. Reuters reports Otto Warmbier, an American university student held prisoner in North Korea for 17 months and said by his family to be in a coma, has been medically evacuated from the reclusive country after a rare visit there from a high-level U.S. official. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Warmbier, a University of Virginia student from suburban Cincinnati, was on his way back to the United States Tuesday evening. The release came after Joseph Yoon, a State Department special envoy on North Korea, traveled to Pyongyang and demanded his freedom on humanitarian grounds, capping a flurry of secret diplomatic contacts, according to U.S. officials. Warmbier was detained in January 2016 and sentenced to 15 years of hard labor in March last year for trying to steal an item with a propaganda slogan. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The Total Loser's corpse contained no traces of drugs or alcohol, and a superstitious Delta Airlines adds busty mermaids to its plane noses. My friend, you look like you are in need of the world's finest internet news summaries. Please come in and warm yourself by the fire of knowledge. This is the Onion Week in Review. A new law passed in Colorado this week will allow residents with a doctor's prescription to purchase medicinal fireworks, saying that those in need of stargazers, firecrackers, and Galleria highlights now need only obtain a doctor's prescription, state officials expressed hope that the law would ease the suffering of those in need of huge, dazzling explosions. And in this week's op-ed pages, a man notes that, like it or not, we all die, then get dug up and molested. In other news, white male privilege is squandered on a job at Best Buy, and a local TCBY has missed the past 2 logo changes. Well, that's it for now. Goodbyes are bittersweet, my love, so I'll only tell you, for more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember